If you've looked at a headline or walked into a clinic lately, you know that the GLP-1 medications are spreading through the healthcare landscape like wildfire. But this isn't just another trend. We are witnessing a massive paradigm shift and how we define and treat health. For decades, our medical system has been broken, largely reactive, waiting for a disease to take hold before stepping in. We are moving towards a proactive, metabolic first model. But what exactly are these drugs? How do they fundamentally change the way our bodies signal hunger and process energy? Today, we are going beyond the celebrity headlines to look at the science, the costs, and the long term impact on heart and brain health. We're unpacking everything you need to know about the GLP-1 revolution. This is On My Watch, and I am your host, Dr. Riz. We have all heard the hype. For 3 years, GLP-1s were the miracle you couldn't find in stock and couldn't afford it if you did. But as we sit here in 2026, the game has changed. The needles are being replaced by pills. The shortage is a memory, and the federal government just stepped into the pricing ring. But here's the question: as access explodes, are we actually getting healthier, or are we just buying a subscription to a thinner version of our same old problems? Today, on my watch, we are dissecting the 2026 GLP-1 landscape from the new $150 oral Wegovy pill to the massive shift in Medicare. Let's do it. In 2026, the GLP-1 revolution has transitioned from a period of scarcity into a structured second wave of metabolic healthcare, with a global market projected at $74 billion dollars. By negotiating directly with the manufacturers to bypass PBM markups, the Trump RX initiative slashed cash pay prices to $350 and paved the way for the balanced model's historic $50 Medicare copay cap. This shift reclassified obesity as a chronic disease, finally breaking the decade old rule that barred Medicare from covering weight management medications. While clinical data now confirms a staggering 25 to 45% reduction in major cardiovascular events, a distinct coverage gap is emerging from the middle class as private employers tighten access to offset rising pharmacy budgets. Ultimately, in 2026, use of these medications is being defined as a strategic bridge to long term longevity and cognitive health. Let's talk about the sheer scale of what we're seeing because the numbers are officially mind blowing. We aren't just in a trend anymore, we're in a total global takeover. So, what's the money move here, right? We're looking at $74 billion market this year. To put that in perspective, companies have spent billions on new production facilities like Lilly's expansion in Indiana and Nova's acquisition of Catalent sites. As brand name supply finally meets demand, the FDA has largely phased out the shortage status exemptions that previously allowed compounding pharmacies to produce generic versions. The new face of GLP-1 is here. It's not just a Hollywood secret anymore. According to the Kaiser Foundation, 1 in 8 American adults has officially joined the club. But here is part I love. The biggest surge is in the 35 to 50-year-olds. Why? This is the preemptive strike generation. These are people in the prime of their lives saying, "Hey, I am not waiting for a health crisis. I'm fixing my metabolism now, and I can crush it for the next 40 years." It is definitely going global, and it's not just happening in our backyard. As early patents expire, off patent versions are popping up everywhere, from Brazil to Bangkok. This has gone from an elite privilege to a global toolkit. The world is literally reshaping itself right before our eyes. It's bigger than a pill or a shot. It's a massive worldwide metabolic reset, and it's happening right now on our watch. Let's talk about the receipt because the sticker shock era is finally over. If you've been waiting for these meds to cost less, than a mortgage payment, 2026 is your year. Platforms like Trump RX have completely disrupted the market. By cutting out the middlemen, they have dragged cash prices down to a flat $350 a month. It's the no surprise model we've been waiting for. The oral advantage here, it's a big win. The pill. New high dose oral options have hit the shelves, and because they're cheaper to make than injectables, we're seeing prices as low as $149 a month. No needles, less overhead, more savings. Don't let those $1,000 list prices scare you. Behind the scenes, massive rebates mean the actual cost to insurers has stabilized for the first time in 5 years. The system is finally balancing the books. We have officially moved from luxury boutique pricing to a standard of care reality. The market is finally working for the patient, and that is a massive win on my watch. Let's talk about a major win for our seniors because in 2026, the red tape is finally coming down for good. There has been Medicare breakthrough. For years, Medicare was the missing piece of the puzzle. But under the new balance model and the generous initiative, Medicare has officially opened its door to cover GLP-1s specifically for chronic weight management. It's a landmark shift, recognizing that obesity isn't just a lifestyle choice, but a chronic disease that deserves coverage and attention. The $50 cap is here. And here's the best part. For many low to middle income seniors, out of pocket costs are being capped at just $50 a month. We're finally seeing a world where our seniors don't have to choose between their groceries and their metabolic health. And we see a healthier future. By making these breakthrough drugs accessible, we aren't just treating a number on the scale, we're preventing heart strokes and kidney issues that hit the hardest as we age. It's a proactive, positive step towards keeping our elders stronger, sharper, and more active for years to come. This is exactly the kind of progress we love to see government and innovation working together to put health within reach. That's a win for everyone on my watch. Let's go through the eligibility checklist. So, do you qualify for a $50 cap? To help, let's go through what is required. Medicare Part D enrollment, you must be enrolled in a participating Medicare Part D or Medicare Advantage plan. Eligibility is generally tied to having a BMI of 30 plus or a 27 plus if you also have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obstructive sleep apnea, or cardiovascular disease. Access starts for many as early as July of 2026 through the initial payment demonstration ahead of the full balance model launch in 2027. 2026, we've finally moved past the vanity phase of GLP-1s and into the era of life-saving medicine. This isn't just about fitting into old jeans, it's a total victory for your heart. The data is officially in. A massive 2026 meta analysis confirms the semaglutide pill or shot slashes the risk of heart attack and strokes by 14 to 20%. We're not just shrinking waistlines, we're shielding the heart by reducing arterial inflammation immediately, often before the first pound even drops. The ripple effect is huge. A 24-month study shows that cardiovascular hospital admissions for GLP-1 patients have plummeted by 10%. That's thousands of empty hospital beds and thousands of families who didn't have to spend their nights in a waiting room. When you fix the metabolism, you bend the curve of the entire healthcare system. But will it work for you? 2026 has the answer. We have seen a 300% surge in GLP-1 response panels. With a simple genetic test, doctors can now predict your responder DNA, telling you exactly how much weight you'll lose, and if you're likely to hit those nasty side effects. No more guessing, just personalized medicine that works. We're losing the baggage, keeping the muscle, and protecting the heart. And on my watch, that's a future worth investing in. Let's look at the future because if you're someone who hates needles, 2026 is officially the year you can stop dodging your doctor. First up, we're seeing the rise of orforglipron. Say that three times fast. It's the first non peptide pill, which is science speak for you don't have to keep it in the fridge next to the oat milk. It's shelf stable, easy to swallow, and it's officially making the cold chain headache a thing of the past. If you do still use the needle, hang in there. We are moving from the weekly ritual to the set it and forget it model. Clinical trials for ultra long acting shots are hitting the stride, aiming for once a month injections by 2027. It's like Netflix subscription for your metabolism. One click and you're good for 30 days. And for the finale, let's talk about the triple G's. We aren't just hitting one hormone anymore, we're hitting three: GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. These triple agents are putting up numbers we used to only see on an operating table with bariatric surgery. We're talking massive surgical level results from a single therapy. It's faster, it's stronger, and it's getting a whole lot more convenient. We're officially entering the high octane era of metabolic health, and honestly, it is time. So, massive new biofacilities in the US and Ireland are finally online and humming. We have officially exited the shortage era of 2023 to 2025. You can finally stop calling 15 pharmacies like you're hunting for a concert ticket. The supply has finally caught up to the massive demand. Manufacturers are now shipping straight to the doorstep. By cutting out the middleman pharmacy, they are ensuring your meds stay perfectly chilled, 100% authentic, and arriving right on time. It's like Amazon Prime for your metabolism. I won't be doing my job on this if I didn't give you the fine print. These drugs are powerful, but they aren't magic and they aren't without risk. In 2026, we've moved past the Wild West and into a much clearer understanding of the side effects. Just last month, global regulators updated their guidance on pancreatitis. While it remains rare, the 2026 data shows we have to be vigilant. If you are experiencing severe, persistent stomach pain that radiates to your back, that isn't just nausea, that is an emergency. We're also seeing more cases of gastroparesis or stomach paralysis in about 3% of the users. This is why we don't just set it and forget it with your dose. Here is the biggest one for me: sarcopenia. When you lose weight fast, your body doesn't just burn fat, it goes after your muscle too. We are seeing data where people lose up to 25% of their lean mass. If you lose a muscle, you lose your metabolic engine. One thing that you don't want to lose. On my watch, if you're taking the shot but skipping the protein and the weights, you're doing it wrong. You're trading the one health crisis for another one. And a final warning on the copycats. Now that the brand name shortages are finally over, the FDA is cracking down hard on unlicensed compounding pharmacies. In 2026, cheap often means untested. If it didn't come from a verified pharmacy with a cold chain seal, don't put it in your body. The goal is a stronger human, not just a smaller one. Respect the medicine, monitor the symptoms, and protect your muscle at all costs. That's how we win the long game. Let's wrap this up with my 2026 watch list. We're officially moving past the skinny at all costs phase and into the era of total human optimization. Look, in 2026, we've stopped worshiping the scale and started worshiping the squat rack. The new mantra: muscle is currency. If you're taking a GLP-1 but skipping your protein and living on the couch, you're basically selling your metabolic engine to buy a smaller pair of pants. Bad trade. On my watch, we aren't trying to become human noodles. We're trying to become harder to kill. Keep your eyes on the news cycles for the rest of the year. We're waiting on those big Alzheimer's prevention trials, and the buzz is electric. We might be looking at a future where the same meds that help you skip the donut also help you remember where you put your keys in 40 years. It's metabolic health for your memories, and that is a massive win. We are witnessing more than just a trend. We're living through a paradigm shift from reactive treatment to proactive metabolic health, with GLP-1s now leading the clinical conversation and becoming more accessible through oral innovation. The goal has moved beyond the scale and total organ protection and longevity. The revolution is here, but your journey is personal. Stay proactive and keep looking ahead. Thanks for tuning in. If this helped you make sense of the noise, like, subscribe, and share. I am Dr. Riz, and this is On My Watch. We'll see you next time. Stay informed and stay out of trouble.